got another rainy day in San Francisco. It's been raining for a week. What up, YouTube? So, looks like I might be in trouble for the vlog. Not sure how much longer I'll be able to record at my local casino, so I might have to change it up. Might not be able to actually show hands anymore. So I guess we'll see. Not even sure if this will be episode 3, 4, or 5. I'm gonna work this in. I've been doing a couple of different things, so it's about time I catch up on it. One of the ideas I've had is to do a free roll. I will be offering up 1% of the day's action. All you have to do is leave a comment down below, and I will be randomly choosing a winner. Of course, also please like, subscribe, and share the video with any of your friends so that they too have a chance of winning. More importantly, read down below in the description box for full official rules to make sure that you qualify for the contest. And we'll do, like I said, 1% of whatever I win today. If I lose, unfortunately, that will be 0. But, you know, free roll's a free roll. All I'll need is like a Venmo account or PayPal account, and I'll ship that over. So, you know, keep it a little fun and interesting for other viewers. And hopefully someone can get a piece of something. I win, you win, we all win. That's what we're looking for. Alright, so we're headed now off. Peace. Jumping right into the action, playing 5-5-10 pot limit Omaha, we get dealt 10-9-8-6 double suited under the gun and open to 30. The player to my immediate left calls, and another player after him calls as well. The blinds fold, and we go three-handed to the flop with a total pot of $110. The game's been playing now for about an hour or so, and I myself am stuck maybe $100 or $200. The player to my immediate left is fairly straightforward. Never really 3-bets any of his big hands pre-flop, and generally will fold after the flop if he doesn't flop huge. The other player in the hand is an unknown. The flop comes Jack 7 deuce rainbow, and we flop an inside wrap straight draw as well as 2 backdoor flush draws. I decide to lead out for 50 into the 2 opponents. Given how dry this flop is, I decided to bet small, figuring that neither of my opponents were going to hit it very hard, and if they happened to have flopped 2 pair or a set, I didn't want to bet large and have them pot and blow me off the hand. Looking back at it now, I actually wish I had bet larger to possibly get 1 pair hands to fold, such as ace-jack, queens, and kings. The first opponent to my direct left ends up calling the 50, and then the other player folds. At this point, the pot is $210. My belief is that the player to my left can have an overpair. He can also have flopped a set and look to be trapping against me, but I think it's way more likely that he happens to have flopped a 1-pair type hand, possibly an overpair. We go heads up to the turn, which is the queen of hearts. I pick up a hard draw as well as extra outs to the king high straight draw. I decide to lead out for 130 into my opponent. Once again, I think he plays fairly straightforward and will be folding most of his 1-pair type hands. I didn't want to lead out for a larger pot sized bet and have him raise the full pot, thus making it pretty difficult for me to call. I only have about $1,000 to play at this point, and if I had let out for the full pot, he's essentially putting me to an all-in decision. Unfortunately for me, this is exactly what he does. He ends up raising the full pot to a $600 total bet, thus making it $470 more to me. Given my opponent, I think I could put him squarely on a flop top set of jacks, or even more likely the turn top set of queens. Although it may look like I have a really big draw, if this was any other opponent, I think I might be afraid of the fact that they could have a hand such as 2-pair, as well as a higher straight draw, possibly even a better flush draw. But since this opponent, like I said, tends to only raise made hands, I think it's way more likely that he does have a hand like 2-pair or a set, and I can continue and realize my equity with my straight and flush draws and easily fold if the river pairs the board and makes my flush. I call the 470 more, leaving myself with about 500. If I am to hit the river, I will be leading into my opponent for the full 500. Unfortunately, the river comes off the Jack of Spades, pairing the board and missing my straight and flush draws. I check, and my opponent checks pretty much immediately behind me with queens full. He then exclaims at the dealer how bad of a river this is, saying that I probably have quad jacks. I think this is a pretty good example of how I can put him on a set on the turn, given that on the river he isn't even betting the top full house, and just how ridiculous it is that he believes I won't be pushing all in into him if I did in fact river the quads. Shortly after this, I find that I'm stuck about $1,000 and not really in love with the quality of the game. My wife gets a hold of me and says she's looking to have dinner, and I figure it's actually in my best interest to leave, go have dinner, and actually possibly return later on to put in a second session. So we decide to head over to Piseta 211. Which I've never been to before. It's in San Francisco. I would definitely recommend checking it out. The food is amazing. It's rather small, so you can expect a wait time. Luckily for us, the weather was awful, so we were able to get a seat rather quickly. Decided to order the farm egg, prosciutto, and Gruyere pizza, as well as a rosemary and pine nut pizza. Both fantastic and definitely recommended. After enjoying a delicious meal, I decided to head back to the casino and jump into the must-move 5-5-10 pot limit Omaha game in hopes of getting unstuck and putting up a win for the free roll. The first hand of note, I pick up King Jack 7 in late position, facing about 4 or 5 limpers. This is a spot I can open to isolate, but my hand plays fairly straightforward. It's not particularly strong, and I'm not looking to get limp re-raised by any one of the opponents. I think it plays fine post-flop in position, in which I can try to flop top set. The straddler then pots to 70. There are 2 callers before me, and I decide to call 60 more, with only one left to act behind me, closing up the action. The straddler is one of the weaker opponents as well as one of the first callers, so I think this is a great spot for me to get involved post-flop. We go 5-way to the flop of King 4-3 with 2 spades. The total pot is $350. I flop top set with no other real redraws. The pre-flop raiser leads 180 into 350. This is a fairly small bet given the board texture as well as the amount of opponents in the hand. The first player calls, the player behind him folds, and it is now on me to make a decision. I think we have a few options in this case. One of them is to flat call, possibly allowing the one player behind us into the pot. Also, by doing so, we allow the turn to be a brick and then possibly pile in the money. Given that we have a $2,000 stack, I decide to raise nearly the full pot amount to $1,000. By being able to get in half of my stack and making a substantial raise, I think I'm essentially putting all of the other opponents in the hand to an all-in decision. The player behind me then re-raises all-in himself for a nearly $2,000 bet. The other 2 opponents in the hand folds, the first of which folds fairly quickly. The second ends up thinking quite some time. After the hand, he ends up claiming that he had folded a set, possibly bottom or second set, as well as a straight and flush draw. This seems a bit unlikely given what everybody ends up having and how crazy of a fold this would be. The opponent who ends up shoving lets me know that he has a flush and straight draw, so we have an idea of what we will be sweating. The turn is the 6 of diamonds, completing a few straight draws. We're not sure which straight draws it is that he had, but given the fact that he is shipping here, this is quite likely to hit his range for his straight draw, so I am a bit worried. So given that this pot is about $4,500, I'd like to take this moment to actually kind of step aside and leave a bit of a cliffhanger. Obviously, this pot will most likely decide whether I'm able to book a winner for the day, so please like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. It is from the comment section where I will be randomly choosing a winner, and from there, if I am able to book a winner for the day, then you will be getting 1% of the action. Good luck to everyone, and I look forward to sharing the details of what exactly happened during this session. Thanks.